Hi Libra, this is your forecast for the month of April 2018. This is a general reading for Libra Sun, Libra Rising, or Libra Moon. For a more rounded overview, please watch your rising and moon sign as well. Now, the underlying energy is this King of Cups. This is water energy. This is Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female, or just the traits of this king. And this king really ties to that Six of Pentacles because he's all about assistance, giving you support, providing that, being a good friend, being a good listener, taking on extra responsibility, protecting others, having concern. He's working in favor of your interests. And so he's a comfort to you. He's got old-fashioned values. There are things that he does believe in. And he tries to stay on that path. Now, he may be a father figure. He may be somebody that possesses a lot of intelligence or culture. He's got his emotions under control because he's mature. And that's why you feel comfortable trusting in him as an advisor. So he may work in a helping profession. He could be a doctor, a judge, a lawyer, a counselor, a friend, a business person. He could be creative. He could be an artist. But the key is he's willing to provide that support. He's a caring individual, and he may work in some kind of caretaker capacity. So this is a month where your emotions, your desires, your sense of security is triggered. You may be realizing where you're closing off. Somebody's struggling with, being distant, being aloof, closing themselves off emotionally or financially. And in the process, not making the loving connections that they really desire. Now, for some of you, if you're dealing with, some bitchiness in somebody's unfair, they're selfish, they've got some ego problems, you're realizing that your relationships are very complicated and you're not getting what you want out of it. Now, in the negative, this king, he's not faithful. He's faithful to himself, like that Four of Pentacles. And it's because he hasn't learned to be intimate. He doesn't know how to develop an intimate relationship. He's emotionally immature. And so he has the tendency to get involved in situations where, he's being romantic or over idealizing something. He's placing you up into the heavens, and then when you don't meet that unrealistic expectation, he's letting you fall to the ground. Or maybe he's somebody that you get involved with because initially he's very attractive, but once you get going, you wish that you hadn't. Or maybe he's not in touch with his emotions at all. He's more like that queen, and he's oblivious, or he feels victimized. He doesn't know how to be sincere. So if that's the case, you may be listening to some bad advice, or you may be involved in situations where people are, again, some power plays, they're being manipulative, there's some treachery, some selfishness. Somebody is ruthless in trying to vie for their position or their power, or they're going the other extreme. There's some escapism. They don't want to deal with situations, so they escape through drug or alcohol or dependency or addictive behavior. Or maybe this is somebody who is exploiting other people emotionally, sexually, financially. So this is about, moving forward with something this month, having a sense of direction, of focus, and being driven to follow through with some kind of plan, or realizing that you're struggling because you don't have one and you're aimless. Whatever the case, this is going to be a month where you have very intense desires. Either you're struggling to impress someone, rightly so or not, and hopefully you're not embellishing in order to do that and misrepresenting yourself. Or you're trying to solve some problems. You want to improve a situation where there has been some difficulty and some unfairness. Or you're in defense mode. You've declared war and you're going to protect yourself against the opponents, against the competition, and maybe you are going to destroy them if that's what you feel is the appropriate action. It all depends on how you feel and what your mood is. Now, the fortunate thing is you have no major cards. And so that means whether it appears to on the surface or not, you are in control. There are other options, alternatives, and whatever frustration you're dealing with is likely to be passing in the wind. And it's all centered around your sense of security, laying a foundation to something, feeling stable, feeling as if you're connecting to others, and getting that recognition that you deserve, the achievement that you've set out, how people are seeing you out in the greater world. And are you being effective, or are you struggling to get what's due to you? You are weighing your options, and it may have to do with, do you have enough resources? Do you have enough skill, knowledge? Are you connecting to somebody who can help you if not? And because you have, it's almost as if you're going backwards in this situation. You have the 6, and then you have this queen, and then 5, and then 4. So you're going back over some old ground. And part of it is that somebody is, they're failing to grasp the big picture. They're being so focused on the little details at the expense of everything else. And part of that may be trapped in some conditioning, a conditioned way of life, of thinking that is familiar, that's safe. Whether it's working or not is irrelevant. It's just that it's familiar. Or somebody needs to understand why things need to change. They don't want to rock the boat until they grasp why we're going to go in a different direction. Some of you, you're struggling with this inner turmoil. There's a love-hate relationship you have going on with life. Or you feel like you're better than your current circumstances. Whatever you're doing, this is beneath you, and yet you don't have what you need to go to that next level. You're good, but yet not good enough. There's an ideal or a dream you want to go after, and for whatever reason, maybe it's financial, maybe it's skill, maybe it's knowledge, you just can't grab that brass ring. However, there could be some friction because somebody is deciding that they're going to stand alone. Not because they're necessarily arrogant, but because they've got that fighting inner spirit. And so they're going to stand up to the world. They'd like to have that support, but that's okay. If it's not coming, I'll do it on my own. I'll stand by myself. All right, Libra, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. And of course, you can always book a personal reading at thealchemistastrologer.com.